Hello, this is Steve Sanangelo from the SRS Rock Report with a new YouTube video called Gold and Silver Update as of October 11th. It's on Sunday. And also the news that was out this week that the U.S. Mint is increasing its Silver Eagle prices to $67 per coin. Is that true? So let's get started. Now, I want to do a quick update on the U.S. dollar and the silver price. This was as of October 2020. I had mentioned several weeks ago when silver was setting up in this symmetrical triangle, due to it touching the bottom so much more, we were going to likely see it break out below it rather than above it. And that's not what I thought. That's just looking at that chart. And that's what the technicals were telling me. When you see so much more of the price hitting the bottom, that means it's probably going to break down to the bottom. And it went all the way down to this $23 level, which I pointed out was this Fibonacci level. I said after the big sell-off, we'd likely see a move up to 24.5, and that was the weekly support resistance level, and it bounced back in 2 days to 24.5. And as we can see, as of about a week ago, it was consolidating. And then the dollar had been moving up. And right when silver bottomed, the dollar hit a peak, it sold off and the silver price went up. So what's the silver dollar chart as of Friday? Well, it continued to consolidate, and then we had the big move up on Friday. It went to 25.11. Now, what's interesting also, you could see the silver price continues to stay above this rising trend line. And then when the silver price shot up over $1 on Friday, we could see that the dollar fell down to this 93 level. So I think if we look at the next chart, which is a chart that I put on Twitter. If you haven't followed me, I spend a lot of time in the morning, and sometimes I'm on Twitter at the SRS Rock Report Twitter feed, and I post a lot. Some days I'm there more, but I posted this chart. I said after silver reached 30, it corrected down to the 50 MA, which is the 50 moving average. It corrected down through the 50 moving average. This is the 100-day moving average right here. So it's no coincidence that it touched it and reversed right off of that. Now, silver is now attempting to retest the 50-day moving average before a correction lower and consolidation before the next leg higher in 2021. So this was on Friday, but this was in the middle of trading on Friday. It closed, I believe, at 25.20, so it's a little bit higher. But I do think it broke down through here. It retested this level, and now it's going to go back up and retest this. So this is kind of how the markets work. This is not what I'm saying. This is how these markets work. So if you're going to turn on Kitco in the morning and you want to know what's going on with the silver price, you could say it's being manipulated, then don't look at the prices. Well, this is how the markets work. They tend to shoot up, they consolidate, correct, and they bounce off these support and resistance levels, either moving averages or other technical indicators. Now, this is the same chart, but it's on stock charts. The previous one I used for intraday. It's on investing.com. Investing.com allows intraday stock prices. Unfortunately, stock charts is an excellent service, but they do not have intraday commodity prices. And I've actually reached out to them and asked them why. They have intraday crypto prices, but they don't have intraday precious metals or commodity prices. I have no idea. It's not that hard. I don't think it's that hard. So here's that big move on Friday. Here is that this upward trend line that it continues to move above. And so now I still think silver, the traders are probably going to push it up to here. Again, it's not a guarantee. This is kind of how the markets trade. Once it gets there, will silver continue higher? We're going to have to see. But I do believe due to the dollar, if the dollar strengthens, which I believe on the monthly chart, the dollar will continue to strengthen, and we're going to see a sell-off in the metals short term. We haven't seen the lows yet, but that's good because it's going to set up for prices much higher in 2021. Now, this is the COT report, and you probably realize I did not do an update last week. There really wasn't a lot going on now that the market's kind of consolidating and moving in more of a consolidation pattern. And in the next COT report, we could see that there's 3,000 additional net short positions that increased, and the price fell 53 cents. And that's interesting. But still, we could see that when the net short position was 100,000 net short positions, the price was 18.15 back at the end of February. It's still almost 24. And I believe it's like 56,000 net short positions. So I do believe we're going to see a consolidation of the silver price and the gold price. But again, that's a good thing. Now let's take a look at, I wanted to show you a few very interesting things that are happening. Again, the SRS Rock Report has a subscription service for silver and gold members. And every time I do a video, I'm just going to let people know that, let me tell you, the ETF demand in the precious metals was the highest ever, the highest ever. Now, we don't know if all the metal is contained in the vaults that backs these gold or silver ETFs. But let me tell you, I rather look at the ETF demand as an indicator. And I do think there is metal moving into it. I don't know if it's oversubscribed, if all the metal is there. But if we look at the ETF demand in 2020, it blows away anything in the past, which is an indicator to me that investors, regular investors, are really getting worried, because it's the die-hard precious metal investors and investors who are starting to realize from friends and family who are precious metal investors, they start getting into it, but they're still a very small percentage. So it's the regular investor who plays in the market. Getting into these ETFs, that's a big indicator something's really wrong. So what I said is stunning amount of precious metals ETF demand, although silver is the clear winner. If you want to check that article, that's for silver members at the srsrockreport.com website. And then I put together this quick article on the continued disintegration of the U.S. economy. Also, I discuss the new Fed policy that they're considering, which is new digital dollars coming your way. You need to check that out, because I believe the Fed is going to do that. I think we're going to see digital dollars going directly into Americans' bank accounts, and that is going to push consumer price inflation up. Right now, due to QE, we're getting asset price inflation. If this Fed policy does get voted through by the Congress, the Senate, we're going to see huge consumer price inflation, and that's also very good for the precious metals. And lastly, this is a public article. It's actually a video I did with Dr. Louis Arnoux on the thermodynamic oil collapse. I know thermodynamics is a big word. Basically, it's telling us that we're in big trouble with energy. And so it's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. Please check it out. It's a long interview. But let me tell you, the information in that video, a lot of people, it's changing how they look at the market and the energy system. All right, now we're back to the gold price. The gold price, very similar to the silver price, and I'll show you how similar in a minute. The gold price shot up. It reached over almost 2,100, and then it consolidated, broke through, just like silver, its moving average. And it's no coincidence that it stopped right at this 100-day moving average. These little candlesticks, when you see the wicks on the bottom, that means the bulls are winning. That's a bottom. When you see these wicks at the top, that normally designates a top. We can see these right here. So just like with silver, gold is going to try to retest this 1949, 1950 level. Will it go higher? It might go higher. I don't have a crystal ball, but again, due to the US dollar, I believe it's going to correct higher, and we're going to see a retest in the gold and silver price in the next month or two before setting up for the next leg higher in 2021. Now, as I mentioned, even though silver has shot up and sold off more, it looks like, than gold. When you put the charts and you superimpose them, it's amazing looking at the percentages from the beginning of the year, this is January 1st, 2020. Silver price is in the blue line, and there's that symmetrical triangle, broke below it. Now it's at 25.11. Look how similar gold is trading to silver. It's a little bit different, but it's trading almost very identical here. Since January 1st, silver's up 40% and gold is up 26. I put 27, but it's up 26%. So silver is still outperforming gold, even though gold looks like it's gone up much higher. It has in price, but silver in percentage terms has outperformed gold. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's on Silver Doctors and on Twitter and throughout the precious metal community, we're hearing the U.S. Mint is hiking silver prices, will charge $67 for each 1 ounce uncirculated American silver coin, starting Tuesday, October 13th. Well, it says right here, the prices for products containing silver will change effectively on October 13th, resetting silver prices if necessary. No inflation, huh? The U.S. Mint even says below to cover its rising costs. Well, let me explain what this all means. The U.S. Mint came out on Twitter. I follow them on Twitter, and they said the United States Mint recently adopted new strategies for pricing products in its silver numismatic products portfolio. Prices for products containing silver will change effectively. And the reason why is in order for the United States Mint to cover rising costs, meet its fiduciary responsibility to operate at a net cost, no new net cost to taxpayers, and return money to the Treasury General Fund, resetting silver prices is necessary. So if we look at this next chart, this is a table of the I got it from the United States Mint. They have an annual report, all right? Just like companies have annual reports. And this is their financial statement right here. And as we could see, the revenue has been declining, even though the prices, well, the revenue has been declining because they're selling less silver eagles, less gold eagles, and the margins have been falling. The net income for 2019 was 5.6 million compared to 61 million. So that's not much of a margin for the U.S. Mint. So what they're doing is they're increasing the price of the numismatics. And I'll show you it's different than the price that's being sold to the authorized purchasers who also sell them to bullion dealers. This is the price. If you go to the U.S. Mint, you're going to pay $54 for a silver eagle. That's what it's been. Last year, it was the same price. This year, it's the same price. It's not a proof. Proofs are normally more expensive because they take more work, more rare. But this is a typical 2020 1 ounce uncirculated coin by the West Point Mint, $54. So all they're doing is they're going to increase the price to 67. And this is only on the U.S. Mint. This has nothing to do with the silver eagles that the U.S. Mint sells to the authorized purchasers. They sell them for $2 over spot. And then the wholesalers or the authorized purchase dealers have to sell and make a profit to the bullion dealers. And then the bullion dealers have to sell and make a profit as well. So again, this $67 is just what you're going to pay on the U.S. Mint website. So if you want to buy silver eagles, that's not the place to do it. If you want to get other interesting numismatic coins, you could do that there, but I would suggest you continue to buy your precious metal silver eagles from your favorite precious metal dealer. Now, this is very interesting. I did an update at the SRS Rock Report. This is as of September. What a difference. The U.S. Mint Silver Eagle versus Gold Eagle sales for September 2020. The U.S. Mint almost sold 3 million ounces of silver eagles compared to 22,000 troy ounces of gold eagles. Now, they sell a lot more of the 10th ounce and quarter ounce and half ounce, but if you add up the ounces, it's 22,000 ounces. So the ratio of silver eagles to gold eagles in September was 134 to 1. Now, the average over the last 4 years has been 64 to 1. So due to the demand for silver eagles, the premiums have been high, but that's why there was so many sold compared to gold eagles in September. And I think we're going to see at least 25 million silver eagles sold for 2020 this year. Now, in conclusion, I think you should check this out. You should learn about what the Fed is going to do, as in putting out these new digital dollars. I mean, let me tell you how bad it is. In this last stimulus package that took place in March, April, the U.S. Treasury had to issue debt or treasuries to send the checks to Americans and to businesses. That's what they had to do. So when you saw that big increase in the U.S. debt, it was like it's been $4 trillion in just the last year. $4 trillion, and it's not even a full year. So the U.S. Treasury had to issue debt to pay Americans or to pay businesses. The Fed wants to bypass that. They're not even going to use the U.S. Treasury. They're just going to put the digital dollars on their balance sheet, and there's going to be on the other side of the balance sheet, there's going to be what they call these recession bonds to offset. One's an asset, one's a liability. So the debt won't increase. So if you see that the Fed will start helping the economy by sending actual digital dollars into people's bank accounts, it's not going to increase the U.S. debt. That's the way they're trying to set it up. And what is that going to do? That's going to push up consumer price inflation, because now they're buying treasuries, they're buying mortgage-backed securities, and they're doing QE. Now, what that does, that just pushes up the asset prices. Well, if they switch to this, then you're going to see serious increases in the prices of things, metals and commodities and food and all that. So check that out. And I think this is going to be quite an interesting next month with the election. I don't get into politics anymore. It really doesn't matter to me who's in office. That's due to the energy problems I'm looking at. So I think in conclusion, we're going to see a continued consolidation in the metals, I believe, over the next several months. But then, due to the fundamentals of more stimulus, more debt, more money printing, we're going to see the metals move up even higher in 2021. Well, thank you very much for watching this last update. If you have not yet subscribed to the SRS Rock Report YouTube channel, please consider doing so. Also, if you want to become a gold or silver member at the SRSRockReport.com website, there's a lot of interesting information that we're putting out there. Thank you very much.